Okay, guys, so we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly Grim and Perilous Master today, because today we are carrying on our ongoing campaign playing Cubicle 7's outstanding Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition. And we are using this game to play a campaign set in the northernmost province of the Empire, that is Nordland. In making great use of the Salzenmund source book. And with me today, I'm getting some real stuttering here. With me today are the stars of our Salt, Silver, and Sin campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing? First up, we've got Darren.
Yeah, Darren here. I'll be playing Astrid, the dog, who will be accompanied by his family member, Alwyn Carlson, who is an outlaw.
It's really only a matter of time before we recognize her as the player character.
The hero, yeah. The hero of the tale.
Next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Katerina, a priest of Shalia.
Nice. And last, but certainly not least, is John.
Hey everyone, I'm John. I'm playing Talthir of Manon. He is a priest of Manon.
Very nice. All right, so guys, this finds us after a bit of a dangerous session last time, where you guys had a interrupted evening of sleep. What happened last time, guys? Do I have any visual aids?
Yeah,
well, from Talthir's perspective, he tried to get out of bed and got tangled up real bad and locked out and didn't do much of anything.
Yep.
Yeah, we finally got the upper hand on a couple of Skaven assassin types.
What? But Skaven don't exist.
Well,
apparently they do.
Surely it was
Imperial propaganda.
Mutants, I'm sure. That you,
yeah, they're just beastmen that look like rats.
I was going to say there was no evidence left, so I guess they still don't exist.
Yep.
They turned into a goo when they were killed. So yeah, we had trouble putting them down, but we finally got that job done. Checked on our host, make sure he was safe. Mr. Grumble Shield.
Yeah.
Had a bit of Fognor had a lengthy discussion with Grumble Shield about this Skaven attack and what it could all mean, and he did finally confess that he was being paid by this wizard. I feel bad. Yeah.
Vaughn feel bad, thank you very much.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah, he admitted that, which he hadn't up to this point. So Fognor managed to get that out of him.
There is Grosum.
Because we thought it was the elves that had employed him originally, or that was the impression he was given.
Yeah, and it seems also, as far as the elves understand, so just to bring everybody up to speed here, our current adventure finds us in Oldenleitz, one of the communities to the west of Salzenmund itself, closer to the Lorelorn Forest, and the mines in the western part of the Silver Hills, and then of course the turnip farms of the halflings to the north of Oldenleitz, has led to a interesting demographic split, I guess, or characteristic of Oldenleitz, which is to say that there is a fair amount of elves here and an awful lot of halflings. Curiously, very few dwarves, which I think led to some speculation as to why Thognoth was targeted seemingly in the middle of the night by those Skaven assassins, right?
Yeah, he seemed to be the main target.
So Orhar is the elf who has hired Grozum Grumbleshield, a hydrological engineer of incredible repute, to drain some of the flooded elven ruins that are located underneath Oldenleach. Oldenleach is, of course, built on not an island. I mean, it's kind of an island. It's kind of an It's not. I don't know what you call a stretch of land and whatever in the middle. It's not an isthmus, is what I'd call it if it was into the ocean. But whatever this thing is, there's a land bridge that leads out to a parcel of land on which Oldenleach was built, which itself seems to have been built on the ruins of an older elven structure, which was, of course, of great interest to Schuster, who is a bit of a elfophile. I'm not sure if that's a word, but probably how one of the sages would put it. And yeah, that is, I think, brings us up to speed as to why you guys are here. You had originally sought out the elves because of that package that you guys were carrying. But now it seems that there is, when there was an open question as to whether it was Grozum who was being targeted or whether it was related to that package you guys were carrying. So, with an evening's rest, let's see here. How much do you just heal overnight as well? I'm trying to remember.
I think it's a constitution.
You have to make an endurance.
Isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Endurance.
Oh,
check.
endurance, yeah.
Okay. So let's
And
see.
then it's toughness plus success levels.
I was going to say, yeah, success levels, isn't it?
There we
Plus
go.
your toughness bonus.
Is anyone suffering from any critical wounds still? No?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So let's start with your morning. So those of you who are down wounds still, you can give us an average endurance test.
Oh, that's a good start.
Ever find these skills?
Do you want to fate point that, Alwyn?
There it
Yeah,
is.
I've got. I'm going to go
Ugh.
3. Yeah, I shall do that.
Yeah, because that. What's your toughness bonus?
Yeah, not much better. 4.
So you would. Well, you heal 2 then.
Yep.
Okay. And then Talther, it'll be an average endurance test. Holy smokes. Talther, what is your toughness bonus?
Toughness bonus is 3.
Do you want to fate point that?
Yeah.
Okay, go right ahead.
Don't think I can fate point a critical failure, can I?
You cannot. I'm just seeing if there's anything like infection or something that comes from a critical fail.
Oh. Potentially.
This game
Yeah.
is not being nice to Talther.
Sheepers. Well, here's the thing: is you still the way crits work in everything else is you still generate the success level, so you'll still heal 3 back.
Okay.
Right, because it's the success level is what they're concerned with, not the whether you succeeded or failed.
Okay.
So you're going to get 3 back, but I think what I'll do is, and it fits with having the Skaven having attacked last night, having open wounds, and that whatever that fucking cloud was that you were exposed to. Mm-hmm. Would you give us a, let's see, another average endurance test, please?
Let's see. Average, submit. Yeah.
Okay.
I just made it. That was exactly what I needed to make it.
Nice.
Well, we've had at least 2 occasions on which to take advantage of our... actually, that reminds me, Alwyn, did you take any damage in that fight?
Oh, yeah, loads. Yeah.
Okay, so you actually need to also roll for infection.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Right.
I went down to 0 at one point. I had all sorts of...
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think somebody dragged him away, and then I helped him up. So.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, so what you need to roll. I'm not going to make you roll a third time, John. So you're good. But where is it here? Infection.
Computer's going to need a restart after this game.
Probably endurance again, is it?
I think it is. I don't remember if it's routine.
Okay.
Amputated parts. All sorts of good stuff here. My goodness.
Those gritty fantasies for you.
I don't remember where I read that. Let's see. Injury. Okay. Here, medical attention. Do you remember where that was in the rule book?
No, just trying to find it.
I'll look in the index. In infected is 340, but I think that's the condition or the trait for. Yeah, that's the trait for adversaries. Okay. Because after our fight with the mutants is when we were talking about that. Because I did not know that before. Okay, this one you're going unconscious. It's chases, moving during combat. Shooting into melee. Corruption.
Yes, corruption.
Okay, so festering wounds with infected creatures, so it's not that minor infection. It's because it's in minor infection. If you fail a very easy endurance test after a combat in which you sustained a critical wound, so it's not just if you're wounded. That's where you're rolling as minor things. Did either Alvin, did you get a critical wound in your fight? I think you didn't go below 0, but I can't remember if I got a lucky crit on you or something.
I don't think so. I think it was just quite a lot of damage and just went down.
Okay, so then why don't you give us?
And likewise, when I got my wounds that dropped me this far, is because I took multiple arrows because I made myself a target. So.
Oh yeah. Okay,
refresh my screen real quick.
Why don't you give us a percentile roll, Alwyn, for Astrid? Because and I was using the dog stats last time, but I think we originally were using wolf for her.
Yep.
So her toughness is a 30.
I got a 3.
Oh yeah, then you for sure succeeded. It's plus 60. It's a very easy endurance test, too.
Okay.
So, okay. So no one's suffering from infected wounds, sadly. Unfortunately. Next time, guys, next time. So as you are enjoying your morning, I think that Grozim, he's the only one who wasn't really... he was up later dealing with Thognoth, but he... Unless you were intending on getting up before him and catching him, he is likely to be off to work. what are you guys planning on doing today?
We make
We want
plans to
try
go
and
somewhere.
find the
We were gonna-
wizard.
Yeah, we're gonna go talk to that wizard, the elven guy, and then the other wizard.
Is it Zacon? Is that
Yeah.
Yeah. She said
The guy with a funny name.
Orhar could introduce you to Zacon, and I think he gave context for why Orhar likely was reluctant to afford that introduction. Grozim is going to try and unfortunately you can't just like show up and talk to the wizard. He's going to have to work that out. So your first, if there's anything else you guys wish to do in town, you certainly can do that, and you can have your meeting with Orhar if you like, as Grozim will be working with him today to further excavate the Elven Ruin, or drain the Elven Ruin. Katarina, you're from Ubersreich, not from Altdorf, right?
Yeah, Ubersreich.
Okay. So then, why don't you give us a... So the chances of this are quite low, but give us a hard Lore Empire checks. I think you've got that.
Yeah, I think so.
Let the dice dictate whether you've got any other info.
Name. Hard, you said?
Hard, please, yeah.
Probably not. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Look at
there you
that. I had a feeling.
go.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you've been thinking, I guess first off, Katarina, why don't you tell us what's going through your mind? When you wake up, or when you finally try and get yourself back to sleep. What's going through your mind about this?
The Skaven?
The recent events, or the scheming with the wizard, or any of the things that you guys learned in the last session.
I mean, I think she really has a desire to get back to Salzenland and consult with her people, right? Her with Mother Agatha, etc. Yeah, this is all. I mean, I know we have to report on what happened, and then we have the box, and now this. So it's a lot of stuff.
So
And then are my how are my wounded friends doing? So that's the other thing.
Okay. So you're getting up, and it is, I think, is there something that you think you come across that reminds you of your family? Because as a reminder, Katarina comes from a fairly well-off merchant family.
And what?
Like some kind of event, maybe like I know that you had a thing where I think it was one of your sisters protected you, or you protected your sister. There was something about your backstory that where there was a coming out event, like a soiree or something that we had involved one of your fellow family members.
Mm-hmm.
Katarina's a kind of a big lass, so doesn't have the grace of some of the other members of her wealthy family.
I mean, not really. These are all. I mean, in her mind, these are, as much as she tries to suppress like the snootiness, these are all like country bumpkins. So I don't know if anything is the
So it
noble
could
thing.
be-
It was cool. It was cool interacting with the nobles, and she's very disappointed that didn't
Well, so how about
work
this?
out.
In the room you're staying in, there is it's a well-appointed room with a lot of kind of neat things, and one of the things that is in there as well is a fairly interesting clockwork what do you call it? The clockwork clock, with a lot of like kind of clockwork mechanisms that make the maybe there's like brass birds that turn kind of and announce the hour or whatnot, and it reminds you of home for a time, and there was an event that you were at with your family where they're trying to play in on the what do you call it, on the greed of the nobility. And so it was some kind of display of event that displayed a bunch of excess things for sale or for purchase by the nobles, by the craftsfolk in Uberstreich. And you remember now, like, you had actually met a gold wizard in person before. And the gold wizards have a distinction from many of the others in that because they are alchemists and because Shaman, the wind of metal, is linked to things like transmutation and whatnot, and of warping or otherwise changing the fundamental principles of metals, they are very favored by the noble classes, more so than what maybe any. There are places and reasons why the other types of wizards are favored, but the gold ones are the ones that are about money. So they are or at least get precious metals. And you remember meeting a wizard, an accomplished wizard, out from Uberstreich, whose name was Balthazar Gelt. I'll put that in chat for you. Balthazar
I got it.
Gelt.
Close.
Yeah, he's good. That doesn't really make a difference. Made up name anyway. So he's not going to get upset about you spelling it the wrong. Although I had this week, I had a call come in as a non sequitur, but and the person introduced themselves as Justine, and then I immediately said Jessica, and then I talked for a couple minutes, and I'm like, "Wait, did I just call you by the wrong name?" And she's like, "Yep." I'm like, "Sorry." Anyway, so Balthazar, at least you got the right name. Balthazar was a very well-respected and very powerful wizard, at least as far as you remember them treating him. And the reason he stands out, partly because all this talk about the wizards, but you remember that you've learned enough now to know what elven accessories or accoutrements look like. And you remember him specifically having two pieces of what looked like very obvious bits of elven jewelry or some kind of, knowing what you know now about, you maybe not thought of it as jewelry when you were a child, now recognizing it, they may have been pieces of power or artifacts even.
Oh, okay.
He had two pieces that were so different from anything else you had seen at the time because they were of elven origin. It's curious, isn't it, that there's a second time where there's elven ruins and a gold wizard involved. Now, Balthazar...
So I don't think it's a coincidence. It might be the same dude.
Balthazar Gelt is the Golden Patriarch. He's the head of the school. At the time you saw him, he hadn't raised to that exalted rank yet. Mm-hmm. But now that you're thinking about it, you think, like, that can't be a coincidence, can it? That Gelt had a... not an aficionado. He has a keen interest in collecting elven artifacts, and yet also is a gold wizard. So that dawns on you as you're getting ready in the morning. Seeing this clockwork device sort of triggered your memory, and you're kind of maybe kicking yourself for not having made the connection before, but like, you don't keep track of the, politics in the great school. So, why would you necessarily have that as an automatic connection of that. But now that you had that recollection of seeing him, and you remember seeing him as a child moving around with this strangely shimmering robe, it almost looked like the way that light reflects off of oil atop water, but in a brilliant light. The way his robe moved, it's almost as if the entire thing was this shimmering oil-covered gold. And it was those two elven, an amulet and a very unusual ring that really stood out to you. And of course, the full golden mask that he wore as well. So, Katerina, you make that connection before you guys go down to have breakfast together. Mm-hmm. When you come down...
So do I think that gold mages are collecting this on behalf of Gelt? Because this can't be Gelt, because Gelt's like the patriarch, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, whether, I mean, like in all things, there is a great deal of politicking and favor pursuing and whatnot within the wizards, or at least so you've heard. And the, if not someone, I mean, he is the head, he's the patriarch of the, or the Gold Patriarch. He runs the School of Shaman. So it could be someone who is in his school who is currying favor, or it could be someone who's carrying out his instructions. He certainly, from what you've heard about those powerful wizards, they have an enormous amount of sway. And one of the advantages that the gold wizards would have over some of the others is they also are so heavily favored by the nobility and by the rich.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right. So they would also have a great deal of temporal power in addition to whatever sort of, political influence that comes from their magic. So, coming down to breakfast, do you share that information with your colleagues, who do seem to be doing better, by the way?
Well, that's good.
Not a great deal better, but I mean, they were both exposed to, a non-existent abhuman species last night, so perhaps it's to be expected.
So ask how they're doing, and I say the gold wizards, I wonder if they're collecting elven artifacts, and then I tell them the tale. I remember this one who visited, our household, or I saw him in some event, and I explain that. So I don't know. It's curious. Maybe it's not pertinent to meeting with this individual, but maybe it is.
Do either Alwyn or Talther have lore empire?
Nope.
No. Okay. So
Talther's got lore theology and a little of that.
Okay. Then, what do you make of that?
Talther kind of he shrugs a little bit as he's prodding one of the bruises still on his arm, and he says, "Well, I've come to believe that nothing is a coincidence thus far in our adventures. I think our gods are leading us where we need to know. Perhaps it was Shelia that brought that memory to your mind."
I don't think that Shelia would care about a lowly priest like me, but I think it's just experience that, and the clocks that I saw that triggered it. I'm more practical. Sorry. How are those wounds looking?
Well, there's no blackness, and hurting means they're healing.
Good. That's good.
Yeah. No signs of infection.
Yeah. You guys did you guys get any points back at all? Or?
Talther got 3 and Alwyn got 1.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. Rough night's sleep. Oh, Astrid, give us a percentile roll for Astrid too.
Astrid, yeah. Well, she's the one with the critical wound, right? Didn't she have?
It didn't happen in the end because we realised she had more hit points.
More toughness.
So
I was using the wrong stats. So 83. Her toughness is a 35 with plus 20 to it. 55. That's a fail by 3, which means she heals 0. Because her toughness bonus would be a 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if I should look to see if I can help that along.
I think you might be only able to treat wounds once.
Once, maybe, yeah.
So after combat, innit, or something, I think.
Yeah, there's that, like, magic hour.
I didn't even know she was wounded. Her token looks fully healed on my screen.
For Astrid?
Oh, no, not Astrid, sorry.
Yeah.
Wrong
No.
person. I'm treating the wolf like a person.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't get injured.
So then,
Medicine.
Alwyn, what do you make of the Katarina's recollection?
Well, do we know what these gold wizards would use elven magic for?
So just conduits of power. Foci.
It wouldn't be an
term.
uncommon thing to know that it was an elven wizard who helped found the Imperial schools of magic. Mm-hmm. You may need to be more learned to be aware of it, but like the magic is something that the elves, if not invented, but formalized. So, and then the humans, with the different winds of magic that they focus on, it's a limited version of what the elves are able to do much more easily and more freely than what the humans are capable of. So you would, I think, at the very least, you would know that they are, because Frederick will not shut up about it, they are deeply magical, and it comes so naturally to them. It's part of the reason why you guys wanted to bring that box to an elf instead of just anyone else, because they have naturally, many of them have second sight.
Yeah, I mean, magic, I don't think Alwyn's very knowledgeable in magic, to say the least. So, I mean, Katarina, I still think it would be good for us to see this elven wizard. Maybe we can, well, at least show them this box, get their opinion, and maybe share this information about the gold wizard. Maybe they'll have an opinion that can help us. Do you think?
Yeah, I think we go to the elven wizard first. I agree.
Okay.
But we need that. Do we need an introduction for that?
Yeah, through Orhar.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try and find him yourself as well. You could just ask around.
It'd be better if Orhar.
Yeah, I think it'd be better to be expected rather than just show up.
Okay. So then, what are you guys doing today?
Well, we definitely need to find Orhar to see if that's something they can arrange for us. Mm-hmm. Do we find them at... Is there a site where this digging's taking place, or...?
Do you think it would have come... I mean, it may have come up in small talk last night at over the course of dinner. So why don't you give us an intellect check at... let's make it average. You did drink a fair bit last night, so it's a chance you forgot.
Yeah, intellect. Which way around is it?
Can you make a roll on a stat directly?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just trying to remember if it's INT, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I is initiative.
Yeah. Did you say it was average? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. The yeah, you remember precisely where they're intending on working, and you sort of have worked out where it actually is as well, Alwyn. You're like, oh, so I saw that there was that one kind of crooked tower that poked up over the other, and it's like, yeah, it's right near there is where we're going to be working. So you know precisely the area he's talking about.
So maybe we should make our way there and see if we can find Orhar.
Yeah. Okay.
So then, grabbing all your gear and whatnot, what are you guys doing with that one surviving rat? Are you living it in the pot for now?
I thought we got rid of it. No?
I think you guys kept one because you guys put it in that pot.
Oh yeah, is it still alive?
He wanted to take it to the rat catcher, didn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe we should take it to the elf. Explain what happened.
Well, in case it's been enchanted in some way, or
Right.
some sort of creation of a wizard.
Yeah.
It seemed to be.
Or if they're
listening or talking.
communicating.
Yeah. Let's take it with us.
I'm not touching it.
Yeah, it caused a fair bit of harm to Frederick.
Yeah, Jack Frederick up.
Yeah. and Manon isn't much fond of rats because they eat the food in the ships, and we'd like to drown them. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Alwyn carried a pot. He's not worried about that. He lives on the streets. He's used to a few rats.
Astrid is growling at it as you're carrying it along too.
Yeah.
Rats carry diseases, so.
Okay.
I mean, so do people.
Yeah. You can usually trust a person not to bite you most of the time.
Well, a person who's sick can just stand next to you. They don't have to bite you.
Those are just demons causing illnesses. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, man,
in this case, I think both are true, to be honest. Germ theory
because this is true because Nurgle can cause disease.
Yeah, exactly. So could be both.
I wouldn't say Nurgle. I'd say the great enemy can cause disease.
The ruinous powers.
But but sometimes they don't have to be caused by demons.
Mm.
And so for example, the red thing that happened, that berserk rage, that's probably caused by a demon.
Yep.
But your festering wound, you had a festering wound, or the festering wound from that poor old guy who gave us all that money, whose name I forget, unfortunately. The guy from he was a guard for the noble family. You remember him?
Yeah. That's
hopefully he's recuperating.
Yeah, that's right. He was resting up in the town still. Yeah, I've got.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, well, that was no demon. That was, a dirty sword or whatever.
Yeah.
Errant. Or Rent. Rent Strepsdorf. Mm-hmm. He went down to a crossbow bolt, didn't he, too?
Yeah, it was like a
from the
crossbow
mutants,
bolt.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So then, so this is maybe the conversation you guys are having as you're crossing town in Oldenleitz, and this early in the morning, people are kind of getting to where they need to be for the day. So the streets are busy. As a reminder, Oldenleitz is for a town its size is remarkably built up because of the limited space. So there's these towering, buildings above you and around you. City planning doesn't seem to have been a great priority for whoever built this, because there's a lot of like crooked streets and places you sort of need to wind through that probably you couldn't fit more than one or two people down, but you're able to locate where the site is quite easily, Alwyn. And as you did you guys, are your tokens updated to have 2 fate points on your side, guys? Oh yeah, mine, because they're not updated for me. I really wish Roll20 would fix that.
There we go. I changed it on my sheet, but it didn't change on my token. So
yeah, because Alwyn's is actually displaying as 2, but it's displaying as 3 on my screen. It's weird.
Sorry, it was a fortune point I spent.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't do it. I recorded the wrong thing.
Oh, okay, that's my fault. I used the wrong name. Okay. So as you come across, I think you hear the site before you reach there, because there's a sound of some great engine going away. And Katerina, you would probably recognize this as one of the steam engines that Grozem had spoken about last night, something to drain the water. And when you get there, you see, maybe depending on the direction you're going, you would hear also the slushing of water as water is being churned out of this. There's a thing set up and there's a hole in the ground, and there's pipes, and it looks like there are some kind of canvas tube that is being fed down into the sewers, and there's a great big apparatus that is running, and you can see Grozem. You can't hear what he's saying, but he's shouting to a couple of elves who are dressed in kind of working tradesman's clothes as he's gesturing to this thing, and you can see that whatever is, wherever that one tube is going down to, there's a second one that is quite it almost looks like a living thing, the way it kind of undulates and moves, but at the very end it's sort of pinned down to the ground and it's spewing water out that is rushing downhill away from this place. So it looks like this giant apparatus is at work drawing water out from whatever is below.
Wow.
It's an impressive amount of crude. Like, for the small area where they're working, it looks like there's probably about 10 to 15 elves who are all sort of at a variety. There is the folks standing around with a shovel doing nothing, waiting for a task to be assigned and whatnot. There's others who are sort of making their way around. There's no sense of urgency here, it seems, but definitely work seems to be done. And you can see the novelty of this is also not escaping the locals. So there's, on the second floor and the third floor, there's likely windows open and people looking down, seeing what's going on, and especially for older folks, looky-loos, trying to see what is what's happening with this incredible device. Among the people who are in here too, not talking to Grozem, but a little further away, you can see that there is Orhar as well, who is talking to another elf. Okay. If let me roll for Grozem and see if he happens to notice you guys. Let's see here. No, he seems to be pretty distracted by whatever it is he's doing. Okay. However eventful the evening was last night, he seems to not be affected by it whatsoever. What are you guys doing?
Well, we were going to talk to Grozem and have him introduce us, right, to...
I think it's Orhar that needs to introduce us.
Orhar, okay.
Yeah. And you guys have actually met Orhar before.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we'll head over and just politely wait for them to finish their conversation, whatever they're discussing.
So he is talking to whoever he's talking to, and then he recognizes you guys all coming over, and he does that like, okay, well, we'll talk about this later, and dismisses them. He waves at you. Greetings. Have you come to see the apparatus?
We are intrigued, certainly, and look over and sort of look it up and down. And
yeah, it's
Dalther's looking at it like he doesn't know what to think of it, but he doesn't like it.
What I think you would be aware of some of the fancier innovations as far as bilge pumps are concerned. You've heard of mad dwarven engineers creating things like that to be able to drain the bilge in ships, and this thing probably works under the same principle, but it's unlike anything in terms of scale and complexity of what you've seen.
He doesn't know why he doesn't like it, but it's like, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like out loud say anything about it though.
Okay.
I think Alwyn would probably continue the small talk for a few minutes before getting to the point. So, have you managed to actually investigate much of the tunnel yet? Have you?
Oh,
been
some.
in there?
This is our third chamber. The work that is involved, and he sort of gestures behind, you realize there's a table that they've set up here with a bunch of plans that are currently rolled up in like a leather bound, kind of bundle. The kind of like a leather strap where you put all the pages on top and then you roll it up to keep them all safe, and then cap them on either end. That's sitting there with a couple of elves standing near. And he says, this is our third, the effort to achieve what our goal is. We are having to go chamber by chamber to actually seal off certain ones while underwater, and then drain. So it is a tedious and laborious task, but one that has already yielded some impressive results. This is our largest area we will be draining thus far.
May I, if not too rude, may I ask, have you found anything of real interest? Or is that something that will be kept a secret?
It is something we have found objects of our kind's legacy, which is, and he gestures at this, those early successes is what has permitted us to pursue this further. I doubt that we could afford your friend, would it not have been for those early successes. So we are hoping to find more and of greater interest to the time when my people ruled here.
Well, I'm glad to hear it's going well. Maybe it's good that we've caught you in good spirits, because we were looking for a favor. If you would allow such, we are hoping
as I said,
to...
Friends of Grozum Grumbleshield, our folk have a history, but he has proven a valuable asset and a dependable... I don't think our kind could call a dwarf a friend, but as close as one might. He has been a valued associate, and as such,
good working relationship.
What favor would you ask?
We are still troubled by this. I'm pretty sure we showed him the box, didn't we?
Yeah, I think he used second sight to look at it.
Yeah. We're still troubled by this box that I carry, and we would like to speak to Zakon, that wizard that you mentioned.
Would you each give us an insight check at average, please?
Intuition?
Is it perception or?
Yeah, what did I say? Insight? Intuition.
Yeah.
Oh, intuition, yeah.
You said average?
Average, please, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oof.
Hey,
nice.
There we go.
So Talthur and Katarina, you can see that at the mention of Zakon's name, Orhar's face just like, oh, fuck. He doesn't do it so obviously that you catch it, Alwyn, but there's maybe his face kind of subtly. And Katarina and Talthur, you both can kind of share a look with one another and recognize it like, oh. Alwyn doesn't seem to have caught that. He's not crazy about that.
Yeah, just carry on as if nothing's happening. Yeah.
So Orhar says, yes, you were hoping that Zakon might assist in further...
He is a wizard after all. He knows of magic.
He is.
Assume.
I can provide the location that you might find Zakon, and I can also provide the insight that using my name as means of introduction may not leave him keen to assist you in whatever help you may require.
Bit of a history between the two of you, I take it.
Orhar turns to you, Talthur, and says, "This project is of... We have had disagreements in past, and I think Zakon would harbor a resentment towards me in light of those disagreements still, which may affect his willingness to assist if he knew that you were involved. I think he is also a deeply disagreeable elf, but if you are able to convince him to help, I don't think him knowing that I had sent you in his direction would make it any more likely for him to agree to assist.
Well, you seem to know him at least somewhat better, than we do, obviously. Is there any bit of information you might have that might make him more inclined to help us? And Talthar kind of like rubs his fingers together, like bribes or knowledge he seeks.
Give us a. Let's see here. Why don't you give us a charm? I'm just gonna see if there's anything else that is. Yeah, give us a charm check, please, Talthar, and make that average.
Okay. Oof. Well, I'll go ahead and spend a fortune point. Might as well.
Okay, hold on here. He just uses.
That's
it's only unsuccessful.
Talent,
Yeah, it's only unsuccessful. Yeah.
I'll spend the point and try it again.
Sure.
Come on, dice gods. There we go.
There you go. So he says, money is not what motivates Zakon. In fact, while our kind, I think part of his disagreeable nature comes from the fact that his magic draws heavily on Gur, the Amber Wind, the Lord of the Beasts. You guys would, or at least Katarina would certainly be aware of that. His connection is more with the wild of our home in Lorelorn, and as such, he, I think, feels out of place in a place like this. He's only here because of the elven history. If you have anything that would be connected to that time or that legacy, that is what motivates him.
Reminders of home.
And the symbols of the past. Our kind, this was founded by our kind before the War of the Beard. And Lorelorn itself was a similar community, but one that did not was not extinguished in that conflict. Zakon values that history. If you can think of a way to turn that to your benefit, it may assist. Though I will say he is less... It is for the best that your dwarven friend is not among you. He is less welcoming of Grozim's kind.
So speaking of dwarven friends, has Grozim talked to you about last night's shenanigans?
I understood that Grozim was entertaining last night and that he had invited you all to stay with him. A sign of his generous... And he kind of looks a bit unusual for his sort to be so freely spending of wealth, but good of him to host. But otherwise, no. Did something occur last night?
I look around. Is it like, are we like out in the open talking to people? And maybe is there someplace we can go where the others cannot see?
Over here.
Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah. So where as far as overhearing, because of the sound of Grozim's engine, there's definitely no chance of anyone overhearing unless they're using magic of some kind. Okay. As far as seeing, you guys are talking to him alone, pretty much. The only people close to you right now are elves standing near the desk, but you could certainly find a place where you could, in privacy, show him something if you wished.
Yeah, I was going to unwrap the blade, and I said we were attacked by what Grozim and Thognoth call Skaven.
Okay.
I've heard they don't exist, but...
so when you see it, his eyes...
The wounds of Talthar and Alwyn suggest otherwise.
Yeah, so his eyes kind of... there's a look that goes on his face, and his eyes have like a 1,000-yard stare quality to them, and he steps back away from the blade. Warpstone.
Well, yes, for study purposes only, but it is evidence, I guess.
You were... Who? And he moves in and kind of, if it's... I
describe what they look like, and they're what the stars, because that was kind of...
Yeah.
The gas, and I kind of... That's what their signature weapons. I've never heard of them. They don't exist.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting because, like, I know the dwarves for sure know they exist. I don't know if it's common knowledge among the elves about the Skaven. Do you know offhand?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know about high elves. I mean, if different communities talk,
we can find a quick answer to this.
If communities talk to each other, there's definitely Skaven Elven interaction in the southern Elven community, and I think with Wood Elves too.
Oof. I can justify a purchase. What? My children of the horned rat. Because they have nice kind of like what do you know kind of things in here.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that was really neat part of it.
Yeah, Skaven and other races. Here we go. 19. Okay. Skaven history, crushing by the dwarves. Here we go. The force of the elves are all but avoided by the Skaven, though they loathe to admit it. The Ratmen are fearful of the elves and their ways. Of the other races, only the elves can rival the Skaven's penchant for speed and stealth, and their wizards are powerful indeed. For these reasons, not raisins. They don't get raisins out of it. The Skaven avoid open warfare with the elves, preferring to save the worst for last. Of the conflicts between Elf and Skaven, perhaps the most well-known is the Battle of Ramarche in 1813 Imperial calendar. As the Skaven attempted to besiege several Bretonnian cities, namely Canals and Brion, their forces were routed by a large force that included elves of Athalorian. So a separate elven kingdom.
Those are Wood Elves.
Yeah.
From the... Yep.
Yeah. From what's southern Bretonnia, I think. Mm-hmm. The defeat at Remarche has lingered long in Skaven memory. The Skaven continue to harass elves when convenient opportunities present themselves, but they have had little luck infiltrating elf cities and settlements. If there was a big conflict, even though Athalorian is a lot more introverted than what Lorelorn is, I imagine that they're at least aware of them. Mm-hmm. So he would say, I think, because the reason I was asking is that he didn't roll great, but he didn't roll so bad that there was no chance of him succeeding. So I was curious if what the modifier would be. With an average modifier, he would recognize them as Skaven weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, the Skaven. What business do the Ratmen have with you?
I don't know, but I think that...
You think the package?
I don't think the package. I think more the dwarves. The dwarfs, I guess I'll use it. How Warhammer calls them, the dwarfs.
Yeah.
There's only, what, 2 dwarfs in all of this town right now, it seems.
So,
they attacked Thognoth. That's why he's not here. He and Frederick took the brunt of their attacks.
Really?
Well, I was just wondering if are there...
I know the dwarves, they have long histories with the Skaven. Is there a grudge that they owe Thognoth?
Not that we know of. That's what I was thinking. We have not had trouble. He is a traveled warrior, but we have not had trouble with Skaven before.
But he's a tunnel warrior. You know, he may have encountered a Skaven many times.
I don't remember what.
I think that the things in his region we talked about, it's more the greenskins.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the greenskins are no friends of Skaven either.
He's fought more greenskins, goblins, and orcs than Skaven.
And so I thought.
Though he knew about them.
I must confess, I don't know much about the Dwarven lands or the Silver Hills, for that matter. But I did not think the Skaven there.
Could it be the digging? The water? They want to prevent it for some reason?
You think they...
Could there be Skaven underneath?
It seems to dawn on him what you're suggesting, finally, of like, you think Grozim, they came for him?
Potentially, yes.
He looks over.
But it's something to be aware of, since you have been kind to us. At least you would be prepared if you have run afoul of them.
If someone were to attack or affect me, this task would still be completed. I am one of a team authorized by interests in my homeland to see this task through. I am fortunate to have the position to direct this, but it is not something I am doing myself. But if Grozim was lost, his expertise has proven invaluable in achieving the progress we have thus far. His death would all but end this task. At most, it would add decades to our task, to the length before succeeding, if we could even do so without his assistance. I will speak to him, but we had arranged for his lodgings to be paid for. Would your companion, the dwarf, would he take offense if we took steps to provide some kind of protection for Grozim's house? For you all?
I wouldn't be offended. I guess you'd have to talk to Grozin, but he seems to be good with you and might welcome it. Though he obviously, as it seems, the way of the dwarf, he wouldn't say anything or ask.
I don't think Grozum would take offense, but I don't think Grozum is a warrior. And as your dwarf friend seems to be such, and seems to come from the same clan, past experience with the dwarves, our history aside, I know they can easily take offense and harbor those deeply, and I would, if possible, avoid doing so with your friend.
I think it should be fine. His best friend, human friend, loves you people, loves elves. He's very excited when he's around you, as you can see.
Really?
Yes, I believe the term is elfophile.
Huh. Yeah, what's the Warhammer equivalent of weeboo?
Yeah, no.
He nods and says,
and he hasn't dissuaded him from that, so
then I will make arrangements, and it will be my people who will assist with this. There will not be a repeat of that sort of attack.
Yeah, that is very much appreciated.
It's deeply concerning.
They almost killed Alwyn's family pet companion.
And Alwyn.
Astrid's ears go back. Well, we will ensure that does not occur again. If I might make a suggestion, perhaps we could take our mid-session break now, and then you can explain to me why you have a cooking pot that is squeaking. So
that was the next thing.
All right, so for those listening at home, we're taking our break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
This game goes fast.
Okay. Sorry, my folks are at that age where I get unexpected calls from them. I want to find out, make sure nothing's wrong. It's because my mom got the flowers that my sister and I sent her for Mother's Day, because it's Mother's Day tomorrow in North America. So she, yeah. But anyway, all right. So then, where we left was you guys talking to Orhar about the introduction to Zaycom, and you had discussed the impact of the Skaven attack from last night, the potential causes for it, and one of you, I think Alwyn, was carrying also a pot that seems to be squeaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Alwyn, do you want to explain?
Yeah, he's asked about. I say this. This holds a rat that was caught in Grosam's home. It seemed to be showing signs of communication. I know how stupid that sounds, but it seemed to be either listening or communicating with the other rats whilst we were discussing at the dinner table. So we caught it in case anyone can gather anything from this creature.
So he looks at it, and you don't wish me to. You don't think my sight?
Well, no, I'm carrying it as I was hoping this Zaycon may know of, like, creatures that are used by wizards or familiars, or I don't know.
Well, you said he was an amber wizard, so he
when
does
did you catch this thing?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, the evening before the attack, which was in the dead of night.
Some of it's others escaped, I believe.
Have you any doubt that this thing is connected to the Skaven attack?
I mean, it just sounds very far-fetched, right? But maybe...
They, while not equal to my kind's skill, I have heard that there are tales of the ratkin working powerful magics, and fueled in part by that foul substance that is made to, or has been incorporated into that blade. That dangerous material can greatly augment a wizard's capabilities to a dangerous level. Is it possible that they could use these things in some capacity in their schemes? I don't think that unthinkable. How would one know one rat from the thousands to be found in these streets? But as far as more to be learned, Zakon or another wizard may provide further insight into that, but if you have no doubt that these things acted in some capacity as spies or other servants of the Skaven, I do not know what more you could gain from studying these things.
I wondered if we was able to maybe follow it back to where it came from, where it meets up with these Skaven, maybe some sort of hideout.
Have you some means of tracking it?
Well, that's why I wish to ask the wizard. Maybe there's some way of tracking such a creature.
You could canvass that with Zakon. I cannot answer that one way or the other. I know wizards can make use of divinatory magics, but I do not know the extent of what those are or whether Zakon is capable of such things. As I said, his skills seem with beasts and other living creatures. Although that may be precisely the type of wizard you require. I truthfully am ignorant of such things. But, well, you're free to... I would ask that you not let that thing loose anywhere near our project. It seems that we have the interest of those foul creatures. And in fact, I think we must take additional precautions as well. Was there anything else? Or have I been of assistance?
I think Alwyn takes a firm grip on this pot, make sure that lid ain't going to be coming loose, and I think we should leave you to your work. You've helped us a great deal, and we hope that you'll be able to keep Grozem safe.
Kindly, if you could inform your friend so he is not... so there are no misunderstandings, that there will be elves keeping watch over Grozem and you all.
I think we'll make it clear that you are protecting Grozem, and if he offers us to stay there, then we will have to take that hospitality and the protection that comes with it as part of being the guest.
I have heard that dwarves do not react well to ultimatums, but I will trust you to be a better judge of your friend than I. So, and he finishes writing something down and then realizes, are you lettered? Can you guys read? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Talther can, yes.
Okay.
Alwyn can't.
Read and write.
So he'll hand it over to either Katerina or Talther when you guys step forward to take it. He's got the address down. So then, with that, what do you guys wish to do? Orhar goes over, and it seems like he's got some... with the information now that the Skaven are about, it seems like he has some extra steps or precautions to take here. But what are you guys doing?
Should we just go and
Let's go to the wizard, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or, yeah, Zakon.
Yes.
That's definitely, as an aside, that was like a big deal in our campaign when the guy he was a peasant, and then he became a boatman, and then he finally learned to read and write.
Nice.
a major endeavor.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Don't expect that anytime soon from Alwyn.
It's only 100 XP.
I'm still
That's
trying
just
to get the
one.
dog
That's just one
trained.
game day. That's just one game day. But you need like some in between time, I guess.
There is. I do like it. There's a lot of interesting decisions to make when you're leveling your character in the game. It seems like there's some really cool cool things to weigh over. Okay, so then, how do you guys think you will approach this wizard? Because you've heard what Orhar has said about this fella and what to sort of expect. What are you guys thinking?
Anything we can offer him, do you think?
Well, aside from playing towards his beliefs and the more wild nature of his magic and the history that would be of interest to him, I don't have much more to go off of.
Well, we're going to show him the box. I mean, if he
might be interested in.
If he has origins from the south with the wood elves, then maybe it might be a concern to him. It's closer to where this box might be from. It's probably from.
It's possible. So just for your character, Athel Lauren is extremely xenophobic and extremely isolationist. So what's most likely is that if he is a wood elf, he's probably from Lorelorn. Just because they don't.
Right.
Because there are wood elves who live there, and high elves. And I think that I think it was either Frederick or one of the elves told you too. Like there's a strange bit of a class system in Lorelorn where there's like the descendants of the high elves who are the descendants of the original colonists, and then there are the wood elf natives that are there, and then there are the refugees who came in the War of the Beard, and those descended from the refugees are kind of like third tier. The wood elves are the second tier, and is that the right? Hold on, do I have that right? I think I've got that right. It's covered in one of the archives of the Empire books, which is cool. Where is it here? Lorelorn's at number 1, I believe. There we go. Nope, that's halflings. There we go. Okay. So they are the high elves who are the city-born kindred, descendants of the original Tor Lithanel. Colonists are the upper class. The forest-born kindred are the middle class. The refugees who took shelter during the War of the Beard, and then the most of those are forest-born, so they are. The majority of the culture are there, and then there's the younger kindred, the Harloth, the elven families who arrived after the War of the Beard. They are the lowest of the low. Okay, so I had that right. And the wood elves, let's see here. The wood elves come from those lower two classes. From either the forestborn kindred or the younger kindred. Yeah. So the Orhar would come from that the city-born kindred class. So, and Zakon, I mentioned the reason why I brought that up is because Zakon comes from that lowest tier. The younger kindred. So, how are you guys going to approach him? He's going to show up at the door and knock on, or do you have any strategy you want to have in place before arriving with this strange wizard?
The things that we shouldn't talk to him about?
I mean, we want his help, and we're there for him to look at the box, right? That's the main reason. And then now we have the Skaven angle. So you can show him the rat, see if he can do what Alan suggested. So we do the rat first or the box? Let's do the rat first.
I think that's what might intrigue him the most, maybe. The sighting of Skaven and maybe finding out more about it. And the rat, seeing if he's able to see through its eyes or something as it runs through the city. Or...
Okay.
Maybe butter him up, and like we've heard of his great exploits of being a wizard with close ties to nature, and we had this attack from Skavens, and this rat in question that we would seek your expertise on, and while we're at it, want to look at this box?
Yeah, I guess we just have to play it by ear, see how he reacts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a good plan.
Would you each kindly give us a awareness or perception in this game? Perception check, please, at challenging, because this will be contested.
I really, really need to work on my perception. Hey, I rolled actually low.
Nice. So, anyone wish to fate point there or fortune point their roll?
Chance, anyway. So I think I'll leave that one.
All three of us are really low perceptive people.
Given luck, and that we just like really fortunate rolls from Thoknoth a lot of times because he's also not good at it, and when he wears that hat, takes a -1 success level.
Yeah.
So, then as you you approach where the destination that you've had, and it's difficult. While there are different distinct kind of neighborhoods in here as there are in other buildings or other towns you guys have been to, the only thing you can really get a sense of is that the high, 3-story streets that you are, or 3-story buildings that are flanking either sides of the streets here, they definitely seem to be less affluent here. It is a poorer part of town that you are staying in, and a little more colorful. Interestingly, there doesn't seem to be for the people that you are seeing kind of sitting outside and whatnot, they do not seem to be elves in the same way that like Orhar seemed to be surrounded by a bunch of other elves when he was working, and when you went to his shop, it was also many elves were there. This neighborhood is not populated by elves. It's by folks who have very little money. You get some dirty looks from some rough-looking folks who are staggering out in their midday, to do whatever it is they're doing. Many stinking of booze, even this late in the day, or late in the morning, I should say. And you reach where Zakon is, or supposed to be staying. It is the bottom floor of a 3-story, what looks like to be something that has been broken up into tenements. There are clearly doors that have been added onto walls after the fact, and you knock on one of them. There's a bit of a pause. You knock again, and you wait for around 5 minutes, and there still is no one respond. Maybe not even that long. After about 2 minutes, how many times do you think, are you guys the type to like knock and just wait, or would you keep kind of like knocking to make sure someone heard?
I think Talthair would be the one to, keep knocking until we get a response, or maybe 10 minutes goes by.
Okay.
Maybe thinking someone's in the privy and can't answer.
Do you think maybe call his name out?
I think call his name out
once. Yeah, do that at least once.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay. So you do that, and there is after you shout, and maybe the second or third time you knock, the door to one of the tenements 2 down bursts open, and a human steps out. And he looks pretty much, you would guess that he was sleeping from the fact that he is wearing very little. He has no shoes on, he has no socks on, he has no shirt on, and he is covered in rat bites and other mite, flea bites and stuff like that. Which is not uncommon for anyone dwelling in sitting in the old world. But he looks over at you and he says, "What are you making all that noise for?" He is scrawny and he's probably in his mid-50s.
Talther will, turn towards him and says, "Blessings of Manon. I am seeking the man in this residence.
Ain't your man living in that residence? You're looking in the wrong place, priest."
Perhaps you know where he is?
Perhaps.
I see that the creatures have not been kind to you. Perhaps a blessing in exchange for the information?
Blessing? Take your blessing and stick it up your ass. Now, coin might mean something different.
Must be terribly itchy.
None. You's tall lady. You's a priest of Shaoya, ain't ya?
Yes, sir.
Well, you won't find any mercy round these parts. This is your blessed lady turns a blind eye to all of us in here.
Well, I apologize for that. I will make sure that can be remedied at some point. Maybe a shrine could be brought here.
Shrine. You can take your shrine and stick it where his blessings are. Coin.
Well, if a shrine of Shalia were to come here, it would bring revenue and coin.
For your kind?
No, to the poor.
Talther, reaches into his coin pouch, which is extremely light, and he's like,
I think Alwyn, he's from the lower classes. I think he'll just get 2 brass pennies out, and he'll just go over to him, put them in this guy's hand. "We look for Zakon, the wizard. Do you know where we can find him?"
He's looking at you and looking at the pennies. Who's asking?
Alwyn Carlson.
And who's Alwyn Carlson? And Astrid kind of, Whoa! Keep that beast under control.
He is under control, but Zakon will not know me. But we know of him. He is known as a wizard of some reputation with animals and such.
In a place like this?
This is where we were told to find him.
Well, he looks back and forth. I don't know about where's he gone, but me pal Peter, he told us he likes looking down. There's that place on Eel Street, an abandoned bakery, strong foundations. He's been lurking around in there.
That's curious.
And Alwyn, you're... Katerina and Talther, you don't necessarily pick up on anything for this, but because you speak his language, Alwyn, as it were, he seems pretty keen to give you a pretty rehearsed answer here.
I think I'll
Is he setting us up, maybe?
I think I'll sort of gently nudge against Astrid just to give him a little bit.
Keep that beast! Get that thing! And he gets, like, kind of closes his door partly to hide behind it.
And I'll try and put my foot in the door. And I say, Astrid is a very good judge of character. I feel that you're not telling us all the information you could. And I'll try and sort of negotiate the door open a bit more.
Why don't you give us a intimidation check, and I'll give you a +1 success level from Astrid's presence.
Okay.
And it'll be against challenging, because I'm going to roll...
Contested,
Is
yeah.
cool for him? Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Oh. So it's not a crit for you, but I did roll a crit fail on this. So I think you say that, and Astrid just stalks like 2 steps forward, and there is a wet spot that appears in his trousers. And he's like, "Don't feed me to that thing. Keep your money," and he tosses it at you. "That elf, he is a wizard. He threatened me. He told me someone might be coming. He speaks to the rats, he does. He set him on me. Look at me, boys. He's waiting there for you. He knew someone would be coming. He speaks to darker things as well. I've heard voices what want men in those late at night. Keep that dog from me."
And I'll call Astrid back as he's giving up the information.
She takes one more step forward and is still growling at him. "Keep that dog back, I say!"
Astrid.
Go give us an animal.
Tether will walk forward, just to get in front of Astrid, but he's pulling her back.
It's probably not a good idea. She's not really well trained.
Nah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm not going to try to
that's-
touch her or anything.
Yeah, that's why don't you give us a animal training roll there, Alwyn? And this will be
great.
an average.
Okay.
That can be
Okay.
contested.
Ah, look at that.
So I think it's just a quick, you get a little click, click, and Astrid then finally, backs down. That's all that. Remember, she's barely trained, so if you step in the way, it's a good way to get bit.
Well, I'll learn.
Yeah.
But Tether will glance at the Astrid just as he realizes, oh, wait a minute. And then
just
they'll
to
look at
give
the guy.
context too, remember, Katarina and Talther, I rolled a secret roll for you guys for your, where both of you thought this guy was telling the truth, and for Alwyn to have this sort of nah, and then get this guy to cave so quickly, that's an impressive, oh fuck, I totally misread that situation on your part.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, I thought I was protecting the guy. But he'll look at the guy and say, "Sorry for the trouble. You may not have wanted a blessing, but I'll give you one anyway, if you'd like."
He looks up at you, looks at his piss-filled pants now, and he's... I need not repeat, but he's going to tell you precisely where to, in much greater detail and with more enthusiasm, as to where to place your blessing this time.
Those rat bites look painfully itchy, and they might get infected.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to learn anything more from this.
No.
So I turned around and started to leave.
I also don't know, to be honest. Do you have any training in Medicae or in first aid?
In healing.
Healing? Do you? Okay. Something like germ theory is really not a thing in the old world unless you've got education in it. So,
Well, I'm thinking more of if he's got a condition on him, I can try to remove it and let him go about his day.
no, it's great that you're trying to do that. He is well and truly telling you to get fucked in all sorts of detail. I'm happy to go into that further
No, that's fine.
I have a deep well of creative curses to draw on if you'd like.
Talthil's got a history of being in the streets before becoming a priest, so yeah.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to be helped. That's what Katarina's conclusion is. Because she could do all sorts of fun stuff, but not this guy doesn't want it.
He also, in fairness, it sounds from what he has just blurted out to Alwyn too. This guy may be a victim of the Zakon and his allies too, right? So
yeah.
Whoever he's speaking to at night.
Talthir being like a little bit of face, he'll just smile in the face of the curses and says, "Well, have a pleasant day."
I will tell you, Talthir, if you do genuinely want to try and, it's not a thing people have to consent to. You can just have a blessing if you want to do that. You're not wrong that he is really fucking suffering here. Those rat bites look pretty nasty, as do his with no shirt on and no shoes. You can see he's covered in flea bites as well.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll still try it. I mean, whether Manon wishes or not, I'll alleviate the suffering if I can.
Okay.
So I suppose I should make a roll for that, just in case something goes horribly wrong. Where is my prey? There it is.
I thought Manon just filled people's lungs with water. And
that's a miracle, not a blessing. We go with average difficulty. Hey,
nice.
Just barely made it.
Pretty good.
And I'll be doing.
You put it at average though.
No, was it?
I think all the
challenging.
I think all prayers are challenging, aren't they?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So, do you want to fate point that?
Fate focus or something?
No. He's not.
Doesn't care that much.
A point on. Yeah.
How many fleas do we see jump from that guy to Talthir?
Oh, I didn't fail that badly. It's got to be like a critical failure for something.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Oh no, for divine mishap. Hold on, let's take a look.
Yeah, I think it's got to be a crit failure.
I mean, it is the old world. It's full of disease.
I mean, if you screwed something up every time you failed something in this game,
you
with a blessing,
to get a wrath, to have the wrath of the gods come. Yeah,
But
it's challenging.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, challenging prayer.
Okay, so I just failed by 10 then, so
Okay.
it wasn't near a crit.
Does not seem. He spits at your feet, Talthir, and then unless you are gonna, he is a little. By a little, I mean a lot. Fucking scared of you, Alwyn. If you want to do anything further, ask anything further of him, you probably can. Otherwise, he's going to slink back into his hidey hole.
I think he's having a bad enough time of it as it is.
Okay.
Oh, we'll let him close his door and whatever, and then I'll turn back to Alwyn and say, he's not home right now. Then I look at the door, look back at Alwyn.
What do you mean by he's not?
Little
home?
B&E right here, where we could look at his apartment and see what's in there.
Well, he's hiding at this abandoned. Was it a bakery on Hill Street? So that's where Zakon is.
Well, that's what he told us.
Well, yeah, once. But he did admit that was the case. But he said he was waiting for us and he's expecting us.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a trap. I would, he's prepared. So maybe we should take that information back to Orhar, or because he says he speaks with the rats, or we just observe him. Maybe. I don't think we want to go and speak to him because he's expecting trouble.
You think he's working with these Skaven then?
Well, that's what that guy just said.
If he does
with the rats.
speak with the rats and uses powers untowards, and I look at the pot, would he know where we are because of that thing? Could he?
Well, potentially, but it can't see at the moment, can it? So
I don't know how that magic works.
No, nor do I. Maybe we could get close enough and let this rat go free and see if it returns.
Have you tried chasing rats before? They're very difficult to keep track of.
Yeah, they're very. It would be challenging to try and track a rat, particularly.
Oh, it just meant if we were close enough that we could see the building and see if it goes scurrying off to that building.
Oh, okay.
Or directly. rather than.
Yeah, I mean, you know where he said where Eel Street is. You can find that.
Yeah. Should we just keep an eye on it for a bit of time and see what comings and goings, or
stake it out? Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea.
Stake out the bakery or stake out here?
The bakery, I mean.
Bakery, yeah. Yeah, get close enough, but not, literally across the road. So I don't know how big the street is, how many places, if there's other abandoned buildings that we could use to.
There are not. Well, you have to get down there. So how are you planning on approaching that? There's going to be some stealth rolls at some point, I imagine.
Yep.
But I can't remember. I mean, Katarina and Talther are both in kind of religious raiments as well. So, I mean, not like higher ranking priests, but they're identifiable as priests of each of the things. So they're a little more conspicuous than what you are, Alwyn. You definitely look at home in an alleyway.
Yeah, I think I might have to go slightly ahead just to see if I can locate this building.
Probably take my shirt off and walk around bare chest.
It's every excuse that Talther has. He's done a bunch of crunches, so he's just like, oh my god, now I gotta take my shirt off again. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
I don't think his appearance is that great.
Is that what one of your talents specifically does?
Oh yeah, sorry, that's the attractive one. I thought it was more like piercing eyes.
His luscious hair hangs down behind him.
No, he's not that.
So
maybe
what
it's
do you
the
think?
clothes.
Well, I'm more than happy to take Astrid for a walk.
That maybe it's a good idea. Scout it out, see what's going on.
Scout it out.
Okay.
You want to leave the rat with us, or?
Yeah, leave the rat with us.
The rat pot. I want to see on someone's character sheet under inventory rat pot. So let's see.
On mine.
It's a rat pot.
One of my characters has done that. One of my players has done that in Bloodlords. He's got everything. He had brass horn. He had earplugs, and it's like, oh, is this auditory? I got earplugs. Look. So he bought all those things because you never know.
Heck yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. There are definitely this is more so for games like Shadowrun or Starfinder to a degree, but like it was really satisfying seeing where a recent Starfinder war story, we let the guys gain access to a bunch of grenades, and like Sean does not strike me normally as a guy who really goes for like gear heavy, RPGs like Shadowrun or like, whatever. But he took a very careful stock of the available options for grenades and selected a wide variety of them, which made it all the funnier when someone got a critical hit on him and it set off all of them at the same time. No. Yeah, it was pretty great.
That's why the explosives go in the extra dimensional space, and
Yeah.
Well, he fumbled 2 attempts to throw them as well.
Oh no,
didn't help.
Yeah,
that reminds me of the first
we had
Savage superheroes I played with Logan. The very first roll of the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had one of those players too, who like the other players refused to let him handle grenades in any game because he got a critical failure in Warhammer, and he had a grenade, and he's kind of and it knocked out like a lot of the players. Didn't kill him, but
Sean fumbled it and then proceeded to re-roll and fumbled it again. Like 2 rolls in a row.
Wow. It wasn't just damaging grenades too. It was like blinding and deafening, and it was smoke grenades. Like
it
was great stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Imperium Maledictum, the grenades actually have the unstable quality to them, so they will go off in your hand if you fumble with them. Okay, so then Alwyn, why don't you give us a
Yeah, I think I'm going to try the sort of walking the dog routine rather than stealthing about.
Okay. So that'll be. Why'd you give us a challenging stealth roll, but I'll give you plus 2 success levels to it.
Oh, 2.
Okay, so that'll give you a total of 3. So if you look down, what you can see, there are people seemingly living in a lot of the buildings that are around here too, but you're familiar enough with the conditions that these folks are likely living in that they may not be too concerned about whatever's going on in their neighbor's thing. This is not like folks living in poverty, but who are still, maintaining a community or whatever else. These are people who are like absolutely fucking destitute squatting here because they have absolutely nowhere else to go. Addicts, heretics, outcasts, these are the types who might be in here.
Am I able to identify this abandoned bakery that he was mentioning?
Yeah, and why don't you give us not awareness, a perception check too as you're going along, and you can get 1+1 success level as well from Astrid's
so contested
assistance.
Again, yeah.
Contested again, yeah, it'll be challenging.
Yep. Okay. So 1 success level.
Okay. But it is contested, so it's as long as they failed by more. So what you see as you're going along, there is definitely someone, like you can picture this place is at the base of this otherwise, larger building. It's not clear whether anyone is living in the upper parts of this stuff, but the where the bakery is located, there's definitely no smell of a bakery. So like no one is operating that place right now, and there is the telltale kind of like chimney where smoke from the ovens would be coming out of. It is in one of the basement windows. I think that as you're walking along and you pass this place and sort of try and inconspicuously look, I think it's probably located kind of at the end of like a T-junction. So the road would kind of wind down and then reach a point and then go off in 2 different directions. It is not at the, let me try, I'll draw this because probably faster than me trying to gesture. Here we go. So this will be like the, oh, it's the wrong thing. Freehand is what I want. There we go. So that's the T-junction there, right? You'd walk along here and then kind of make your way to the side or otherwise. The bakery itself is probably located right around here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a sort of at the corner lot, and you're able to walk past there. And what you would see is there is a glint of reflected light as someone is leaned too close forward, but you cannot tell whether it's a human face, elfish face, dwarvish face, or otherwise.
And do I think there's any other buildings abandoned nearby that you could potentially get an eyeball on this building for a few hours if you wanted to sort of surveillance?
But it's tough to tell what's in any of them. Yeah. And I mean, there are rats everywhere here too. None seemingly watching you, but I mean, like, your Astrid's presence is clearly disturbing some of them, so you can see they're skittering along. Definitely 1 or 2 that run into the building where the bakery is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I'll use that as my first sort of swing by and sort of go round and swing back to where the others are. And
Katerina and Talther, what were you doing while Alwyn and Astrid were doing the reconnoitering? Or are you just trying to be inconspicuous?
I suppose we can wait partial way down there for him to come back and talk to us. A block or 2 away.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's probably a good idea, because I think if you start going around healing people or tending to the sick, it's going to be noticeable. Although that is consideration. These people are that messed up. But, okay. Yeah.
I mean, we could engage in some small talk with people nearby, get a general idea of things going on in the area. But otherwise, it's probably just passing time until he gets back, trying to stay out of trouble.
You could, the priest of Manon a little less so.
But yeah, that's not. I think Shalia could go around and
but it would not be unusual for
poor.
Yeah, for a priest of Shalia to be muddling around here. And to be honest, like Manon is a god of the sea, but this place thrives on river trade as well, so it's not so far removed.
Oh, and I've got my little side gig of smuggling, so I could be looking for choice pieces to take back to the other city.
I mean, this is not. There are, places with seedy types that are here, but like these folks, what are you going to bring fleas from Oldenleeds all the way up to Salzenmund?
Got to, get those bacteria, resistant bacteria from one place to the other, right?
All right. The see if Talther's already talking about transporting plagues around here. I think there's a different god you may be praying to. So.
I'm not the one with the corruption yet.
Let's have. Let me think here, guys.
I mean, Talther can remove a condition if Manon's willing, but I think Charlotte is the better with the healing, magically.
Are either of you guys, Katarina or Talther, trained in secret signs?
Sleight of hand.
It's an advanced skill, so. No, it's one of the ones you'll either have it on your sheet or you won't.
No.
Okay.
Well, secret signs is there, but it's just blank. It doesn't have anything.
Okay. Yeah, it's it's an advanced skill, so you need training in it in order to do that. Okay, so, my thought is you're probably doing gossip then. If what you're trying to do is trying to kind of get a sense of while you're doing your menstruations.
Mm-hmm.
And
that sounds like something that Talther would do.
Okay, and let me check for assisting. One mechanical thing that was introduced in Imperium Maledictum. Advantage is just you roll the percentile dice and you swap it to the best result. It's a really clever mechanic. It's real snappy, and it doesn't feel unbalancing. I had advantage on so many attacks on the PCs last night. Could not hit to save my fucking life. It was not. I mean,
it does a switch to succeed. Is that what it does?
Yeah. It does the for advantage. If you have advantage in it, which is what you get from assisted rolls, you you roll and then flip it to whatever's the most beneficial. Okay. Yeah, it's cool. That's independent of the difficulty of tasks and independent of other factors that affect... Oh, speaking of which, do you guys remember, if you have a bonus that affects your success level, can that turn a failed roll into a success in this game?
I think you have to succeed for it to give you an extra success level.
Okay.
Like attractive and the like.
Yeah, that's something that's interesting with Imperium Maledictum is expressly, if you've got something that bumps your success level up and you roll a fail, it'll turn it into a success when it's not contested, even on simple rolls.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's contested, I can see.
Yeah, because it says here, page 149, if you roll lower than the skilled characteristic, it's a success. If you roll higher, it's a fail. Imperium Maledictum expressly says if there are things that can push it up, then it will. If you got modifiers, it can turn a failure into a success. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so bookish.
Nah, it doesn't.
Very strong.
That's nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Oh, it does. That's interesting. Bookish does that flip to succeed.
Oh, nice.
It's interesting. So I guess it's in there, but it's not like in there, you know what I mean?
It's like a blanket thing, yeah.
We meant like the superior. Oh, cool. And so the superiority is also their kind of like their version of advantage. You start in, depending on how prepped you are and how prepared, you start with that, and once per turn, you can add that as a success level to your rolls directly. And then as you defeat adversaries, your success level goes up. If you suffer critical hits or things like that, it can go down. But as you defeat adversaries, it goes up. And once your success level is higher than their resolve, they break and end the fight. So it's a neat kind of like momentum starts going in your favor. The guy started with, in one of the fights last night, with 3 success levels. They ended with 5. So as the guys were running away, they're just like, yeah, and shooting guys as they're running away. I mean, they're less altruistic than you guys. Shooting a bunch of murderous gangsters in the back of the head is...
I think that's par with 40K. I mean,
it really is.
That universe is pretty rough.
Yep. Some might say comically
not if you're
so.
an Ultramarine.
I'm playing Rogue Trader on the PC on and off, and like, geez, option. Would you like to kill him? Would you like to kill him brutally? Murder everybody? And like, why are those 3 options there?
Yeah, that game is... I haven't played the game. The setting is fucking awesome. All right, so in this one, assistance... Right, grabs plus 10 to the test. Okay, so which of you guys would like to give us a gossip roll? That's a very long way to get to... I need plus 10. I couldn't remember if it adds to the success level.
I have a 51 base for gossip.
Oof. I got a 40. You're much more gossipy than I am.
So, Katarina, go ahead and give us a roll, and you'll have plus 10 to your roll. Remember not to put the plus sign in.
Yeah, I'll do challenging and then add a bonus, right? Is that right?
Yes, yeah, that's right.
So 10.
No plus symbol.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Wow.
They need some healing, these people.
Okay.
See, Souther, it is good for us to do some of our God's work.
One thing I missed...
If Manal would bless me with the healing, I would be more than happy to spread the alms like that.
So the success levels, I missed this when we were running. I noticed it in Imperium Maledictum, and I thought it was from Doctor Who. But the success level thing, where it gives you like what your specific success level is in this game as well. So like astounding level 6 is yes, perfectly. So you achieved everything you were setting out to do and got every possible benefit you could. The success level between 4 and 5 is yes and, so you succeeded and you got some other specific benefit. And whereas like rolling 1 level of margin of success is yes but. So you succeeded, but there's a small setback for it. It's something that Cubicle 7 had in the Doctor Who RPG. So it's cool to see that in this. But what? So, Katarina, what do you think? There's some devotee of Shalia maybe that you came across, who is like exposition grandma.
Yeah.
And what happily, good. She is so. So this is
yes, like the the auntie that is the ear, has her ear on the ground. And
yeah.
Every bit of gossip.
Exactly. All right.
And it happens to be a devotee of Shalia as well.
Yep, I love it. So this will be Ursula. Mm-hmm. So Ursula is so pleased that you're here. You're free to direct the conversation towards anything you like with old Ursula.
The strange goings on of that bakery.
She assures you this was such a nicer neighborhood before.
Oh,
Shake
wow.
the rat pot.
Oh, it's so nice here before. Where? That bakery. Oil used to be owned by such a nice couple. They were out from Salzenmund originally, you see, and they used to make the most wonderful rolls and breads. The whole street used to smell like it before, and it's such a sad state of affairs to not have that smell around any longer, and also to have so many dangerous things. There can't have been food in there for many, many years, decades perhaps even, but there's rats that go in there constantly as if it was full of seeds and flour and other remains from there.
Huh. Wow. Okay.
There's so many in there. And there's that strange, raggedy-looking elf who goes around, too. What business do they have in the old bakery?
Wow. Have there been any
curious
weird noises? Or...
I'm sorry, Sonny. I don't hear well. What did you say?
Has there been any weird noises or strange events going on?
Can't hear them.
There's strange lights in there. Someone's fooling around in there. They say that the bakery used to have connections to the old Undercity as well.
Oh, interesting.
City.
Interesting. Dangerous, I say. Dangerous what's down there.
Auntie, I know this is far-fetched, but have you seen rats that, well, very large rats that almost walk upright?
She grabs her chest and grabs your arm almost as tight. You saw them too!
Wow. That's crazy. We stumbled upon... Okay. Yeah, I don't tell it. Okay. Yes,
well, you got an astounding success.
I have seen them. Yeah, I have seen them.
I knew they were true. My neighbors told me I was mad.
No, be wary. Those giant rats that walk upright are dangerous.
I said such things. If he didn't look so dangerous, I would have warned that elf too. But I don't like the look of that one.
So I thank her, and I give her some 5 brass to go get some food and drink at somewhere.
Thank you. The mercy of Shalyu on you, young lady.
Well, Shalyu has shown mercy upon you.
Thank you. And you, young man.
He's learning.
Blessings on you as well.
Blessings on you, madam.
And if you wish to come...
liked you. Yeah, she just liked it when you took your shirt off there.
Oh yeah, like you took the words right out of my mouth. If you wish to come back with such a handsome priest again, I am happy to come. And I may, and she holds up the coins, I may even have something to offer guests next time.
Yes, that's why I bring him along, Auntie. For his good looks.
I can see why. A
And
glimmer
will
of
just
gold
look a bit
in this
Catriona
otherwise
because she's so tall.
dingy place. And Alwyn, perhaps this is when you guys, okay, like, unless there's anything else you wish to ask of Exposition Grandma.
I'm good.
Do you know how long the elf has been coming around here? Like, how long it's been?
I think I first saw him. So it is early midsummer right now. It was early in the winter, I think, that he first came. I thought him a Norse when he first came. All the furs. It was only when I saw those features, pointy and skinny, not like you, my dear. You're well fed and plump.
Maybe.
Beware of grandmas in the woods.
Yeah.
I still pick the grandma in the woods. No bears for me, thanks.
Any other questions for Exposition Grandma?
No. Thank her for her time and wish the blessings of the gods on her.
And blessings on you too as well. Thank you. Your generosity will not be forgotten.
As we're leaving, I looks over at Catriona and like, you gave her 5 brass pieces? Wow.
She's living in... No one by choice would live in this neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah, like this is...
Man, I was going to give her silver, but I was like, I don't want to get rolled, with our Astrid, our protector, not around.
Catriona, if I was not a better man, I'd have picked your pockets a long time ago. He looks up his coin and shakes his 6 brass pieces and like, yeah, puts it back in.
If you had been nicer to... Man, you told us his name, Kevin, and I forgot already.
Grozum?
No. The
Errant.
If you had been nicer to Errant, maybe,
I believe it might have been unconscious during some of that interactions.
Well, it's so rude.
So it's around now, as you guys are walking away from Exposition Grandma's place, that you see Alwyn and Astrid coming back around the corner.
Wave at them.
Yep, I'll meet back and say that there's definitely someone in that bakery. I saw what looked like a face at a window, but I couldn't make out whether it was an elf or human. But there also was rats scurrying about and seemed to be going in and out of that building.
The gods have apparently blessed us with Katriana finding an old lady of her faith, and she knew like everything about the place. She's actually seen rats almost on two legs walking about, and that the elf is definitely there and has been there since early winter.
Yeah.
We should probably not go there without Thognoth. Probably.
Maybe we should return, get some reinforcements.
Yeah, we talk to.
I think we're losing him.
Oh yeah, so I think Carl, you might have dropped out of the Roll20 game because I've lost you.
Man. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Internet hiccup.
Weird. Yeah.
I can hear you clearly now.
Right. So yeah, I don't know if Taltha already said, but she confirmed the presence of Skaven in her own way.
Yeah. So I think we maybe go back and speak to Fognorth and Frederick and see what we want to do about this situation.
And our elven friends.
Yeah, maybe speak to Orhar again.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely right that this elf is not friendly.
No, but it would be, I mean, almost. I mean, I don't know. I know for humans, cavorting with chaos is anathema for the most part, unless you're a rich noble. But but I'm sure it is with the elves and dwarves as well.
Mm.
Yeah, he probably didn't think he was this connected.
No,
or
I didn't.
Involved.
That's concerning.
Yeah.
And why? I mean, I guess that's my question.
That's a really good one because the
we're supposed to hate each other, right?
Taltha gets a look on his face like he's contemplative for a second. It's like, maybe he's got a grudge with something here, and he's using the Skaven to do something. Maybe take revenge or some slight in the ancient history. I mean, as far as what Orthar told us, Well,
I mean,
Tragedy of the Wild.
Do we know about like how the wood elves are treated
in Lorelor? Yeah, Frederick was your font of information for that.
Yeah,
when you guys were first here.
It could be that that they're just treated so poorly here. And they've been treated poorly for a very long time. I mean, how long ago was the War of the Beard? I don't know. The books say it was like in ancient times.
Yeah, it's thousands of years back, but elves and dwarves have very long memories, and there would be none alive who would be members of the refugees from the War of the Beard, and yet they're never gonna. That is one of the aspects of elven society. It makes human society look incredibly upwardly mobile in the Empire, and that is really not the fucking case.
Right. So, it's a long-held grudge. I mean, that's crazy, but
shame.
So, with you heading back to I guess Grosam's house. Is there anything else you guys wish to do?
I think we'd probably go and report this to Orhar first, wouldn't we?
We gotta do something about
this rat. Aware.
Maybe throw the rat in the. No, what do we do with the rat?
If you want me to drown the rat, I'll go drown the rat. I mean, I have done it before.
Well, it's Frederick's rat, so I didn't want to dispose of it without his permission.
I think it's the one the wizard's rat, but
Yeah, I know.
Oh wait, could we get a reward for the rat catcher? Well, we're gonna go see a rat catcher.
Well, what if the rat catchers are in cahoots with all this mess?
Then we'll find another villain that we can take care of.
Yeah, I think Alwyn might keep hold of the rat.
That's a good point. The rat catchers are getting rats and bringing them to the wizard. That could be how he's supplying his rats.
Rat catchers generally don't catch them alive.
Yeah, they have small vicious dogs or large vicious dogs.
Unless he uses a pipe.
Yeah.
And he just plays music to them and
Yeah.
That would be more a pipe
street.
over the sideline in rodent control or children control.
Gives me an idea for a new character.
Ratcatcher has a long and storied history in this game.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is one of the classic signature. D&D has their fighters and warriors, and RuneQuest has their.
And they all start killing rats.
Yeah, the Ratcatchers, or the. I think our first campaign we ever ran with Warhammer Fantasy First Edition had a boatman. And I can't remember what the other one was. I just remember the boatman because the player who was used to D&D style stuff was so furious. I was like, "What do you mean I don't have weapons? We're a boat. What are you carrying a sword around for?" So you're certainly free to buy one. You have no money.
It's worth your yearly income.
Exactly. The settings is incredible.
But it is. I mean, it's very different. It's not like
It's just a different kind of thing, honestly. Like, I think it's closer to how you play Traveler than it is how you play D&D, in the sense that like your characters feel very more like real people with lives behind them, and then you're going to be adventuring and seeing them change their lives.
Yeah, you definitely
why would I
go
want to
from
go into
zero to
combat?
hero.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Combat will get you killed. No, thank you.
So many ways to die.
Yeah. So
Oh shoot, there's so many. Oh, I just stepped on a nail. Oh shit, tetanus. I'm down.
exactly.
And I didn't even know it's called tetanus.
Evil spirits are infecting my foot.
Why am I
God.
locking up?
Don't worry, amputation is only lethal 70% of the time. So we'll save your life, but not your limb.
But yeah, but you get amputated, and now that's infected.
Exactly.
Right, so I guess we're going back to Grozen's just to keep us on.
Yes.
Task. So if you will, what we'll do is then, guys, we will have you heading back to see Orhar. Is it Orhar or Orhan? It's Orhar, isn't it? Yeah, Orhar. At the start of next session, because we're already out of time.
That's
so
crazy.
You guys get, it's 100 XP in this game, right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is start of next session is we'll take a look at your goals and your the things, so we know how your I know at least one or two of you, I thought about it partway through the session, have made use of your resilience. It's just not in your token, so it's not fresh in my mind.
I did a resolve.
Yeah. So like we'll take a look at what your, because it's achieving goals, I believe, is how you get that stuff back. And like with the way that you guys are role playing in some of the scenes, that might be a handy way of sort of servicing the role playing and rewarding it with getting your narrative meta currency back.
Is the mage we're looking about, is he considered a noble?
Which
the
mage?
rat guy, the rat
two.
mage.
The elf one, no. The wood elves would be at the very rock bottom of society, in Laura Lorne at least.
Cool.
And this guy's living in
curious.
squalor. The noble would be the gold wizard, the one who may be allied with the gold patriarch. So, awesome. So then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 16. Guys, we're 16 sessions into this campaign already. Part 16 of our ongoing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay campaign. As is, let's bring us back to our main screen here. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There is also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, and we have a channel there dedicated to the Warhammer games we run on the channel, which is wide and varied. We run a lot of 40k games and fantasy games. Although we still haven't done first edition. We'll have to do a war story in this campaign with first edition, and then I'll have hit the bingo card of having run all 4 editions of Warhammer on the channel. I loved that game so much, the spine of my book, my original one, has fallen off, but it still is intact. Let's see here. There's also a bunch of other channels on there, including Find a Group or GM Discussion. There's a great community that has built up over the years over there, and you're more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including Warhammer Fantasy 2nd Edition books. And if you... they have something in their extensive collection or catalog that is not in stock. You can put it on a want list and they will send you an email when it comes in stock. If you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code MuserNight. All caps, all one word. It's listed in the description down below, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. If you do live in the continental United States, you also get some pretty sweet deals on shipping. Even shipping to Canada is not as bad as it can be from other places in the States, but Americans, I truly envy the shipping deals you get from Noble Knight. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really incredible organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. And you can learn all about their activities by following the link to Heroes Save Villages down below. And any donations through that go directly to them. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. We did have the donors from the start of the year vote on our charity sessions from last weekend, where we ran 2 sessions of Star Wars to celebrate May the 4th. And the donors who had donated $25 or more since January 1st had voted on all the parts of that those adventures. So that was a lot of fun to see them come together. Starting in August, we'll be doing the same with some other sessions, but this can be a little more opened up, closer to what we did last year. I don't know if we're going to do a mini campaign again like we did last year, but we'll see. I think that does limit us to certain things, but I have an idea for it, and I did enjoy writing that last year, so we'll see. But in any event, the donors, that's our way of saying thank you. Was you'll be able to vote on the different components for the last charity sessions in our year. And again, all donations go directly to the charity. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. You're just going to help out the kids who benefit from their services. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart, grim and perilous heroes. So Darren, Carl, and John, thank you so much for joining me again this morning. I was really glad that we were able to. I know we were down 2 players, so it's kind of a teetering on the border. If we lost one more, we'd do a pickup. But it was really fun to be able to play a session, and it says a lot that we can have a full session with just 3 of you guys and no combat.
I'd prefer no combat. No, thank you.
I'll try and kill you again next time. Better.
I mean, Wayne will appreciate that.
I think, well, you will. Yeah, really. You will find, I think, with so for those listening home, we're using the optional rules, the replacement / optional rules from Up in Arms for group advantage starting next time. And I think that in particular, those of you who are not combat monkeys will find more meaningful ways to contribute rather than just trying to do shit that you're not really good at. So I think that'll be interesting. But we'll be back in the old world in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours, take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our grim and perilous heroes are uncovering in the city of Oldenleets. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.